excited. You have everything done. Couldn't sleep last night, oddly, struggled and was up pretty early, earlier than normal, usually up around 6. I was up a little bit earlier. And one of the first things that I do, in the morning is you go read everything. And for whatever reason, I checked my email first. And I had one at 5 a.m. from Chris, and the title just said, Johnny Hockey Tragedy. And then you go, oh, God. And you start to look for it. And, in this world we live in now, you see a bunch of unconfirmed stuff all over social. But usually when there is that much smoke, there is something to it. And the reality became washed over pretty quickly that we had lost Johnny Hockey. That Johnny Hockey and Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew were struck and killed while riding their bicycles the day before their sister's wedding. And I can't even, it's going to be a struggle. The pain of that, of brothers, a husband, a father, a son, 2 sons. This was such a close-knit family. The Gaudreaus were. I won't pretend that I knew Johnny. We had him on the show a couple of times and was very gracious. But I did grow up a Flames fan, and I would keep an eye on that organization through the years. And when he burst on the scene like a comet in Calgary, you took notice. And what you took notice with was just the most perfect damn nickname you could ever have for a hockey player, Johnny Hockey. And he played with such joy and such enthusiasm. He transcended hockey a little bit, which is hard, I think, for that sport, to have somebody who is kind of known beyond it. Hockey is an incredibly tight-knit, small community, but he was someone you knew. And when it would come time to all-star games, he would oftentimes wow with his incredible skill and his incredible talent. And I remember around the COVID time, his family living in Calgary with him, leading into it. And then one of the big things coming out of it was with the lockdowns and stuff, he couldn't see his family. And the centerpiece of anything, and he was a soft-spoken guy, but what was abundantly clear anytime he did speak was the importance of his family. And so that only adds to all of this tragedy. When he chose to play in Columbus was one of the more fun shows that we've ever done, because it was impossible to think. In fact, the day before we were doing the show and we were throwing out names, and I can't remember if it was Reese or Chops, but one of them pointed out, well, what if we could get Johnny Gaudreau? And I'm like, stop it. There's no chance. He's the best player available. He was the marquee free agent. But he did the next day choose here. And he could have played anywhere, and he chose here. He chose to raise his family here. He chose to be a resident. He chose our city. And the tragedy of it all, it's just as heartbreaking as it could ever be. The details of it are so damn senseless, so senseless and so stupid and gone in a blink. And for what? You heard Reese with the updates on this. Him and his brother were going for a bike ride before their sister's wedding. A guy made one of the dumbest decisions you can make, and allegedly drove while under the influence, and in a blink it's over. And so now a family has changed forever. 2 little boys will grow up not really knowing their father. A sister remains, and her 2 brothers are gone. You don't you don't come back from it. You don't come back from something like this. It's changes you in a way that only the people who have experienced something like this can begin to wrap their head around. You wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's pure hell. And we grieve as a city. The organization, my God, incredible grief there. Anyone connected, but mostly we mourn for them. We mourn for the Gaudreau family. We mourn for those who remain, Johnny's wife and his young children. The Blue Jackets put out a statement this morning. Johnny played the game with great joy, which was felt by everyone that saw him on the ice. He brought a genuine love for hockey with him everywhere. He played from Boston College to the Calgary Flames to Team USA to the Blue Jackets. He thrilled fans in a way only Johnny Hockey could. The impact he had on the organization, our sport, was profound, but pales in comparison to the indelible impression he made on everyone who knew him. This is a tough show to do in the sense that it's just tough. It's tough. And quite honestly, I don't know that any of us want to do this, but we will, and we'll try to find a balance of all of it. But acknowledging the devastation of this, and the mourning of this will go on for quite some time, Chops.
Yeah, as you hear the rumors, it's something that you're like, that just can't be true. It's just too out there to be true. And as time goes on, you see the reports start to come out, I guess close to confirmed. I don't know exactly where they're at with that. I don't care. It sounds like this is pretty much what happened, what you described. And it's just some of those things that it is like a stranger than fiction moment. Like, you wouldn't even write this as like a tragedy in a show or a movie or something like that, because it's just too many ridiculous details to put on top of it. And now this family is going through this in reality. And then outside of that, the team is going through it. And then outside of that, Columbus and the Blue Jackets community is going through it. And it has always just been so hard for me to like stomach people when an accident happens, when they're doing something leisurely, not so serious, something just for fun like that. Like, they're just going on a bike ride. And like you said, in a moment, it's just over. Both of them gone. And then, like you said, with the other details of everything, and with the two kids that he leaves behind, and it's just so terrible. And just like seeing somebody put out like the dates of his life today, and he was born in August of 1993, and I was born in April of 1993, and like that really hit me hard, of just like, because we've dealt with death before, and we have had some tragic young ones too, but a lot of them are usually older people that like you can be like, well, you can rationalize that an older person is dying. This is like Johnny Gaudreau being gone is not something that was planned to be on my radar for years, decades. And now he's just gone. It's over. After all the excitement of bringing him to town, probably the biggest free agent signing definitely since I've been doing that, just gone. And the hockey part's not important, but you start to get to know these people. And like you said, we've had him on the show. He was a really gracious guy. He was a cool guy. He wore the flip-flops when he came in. He was a casual guy. He had a great smile. It's just terrible. And the more you read about it, the worse you feel. Like, I don't think anything's going to make you feel better about this for a long time.
You have people in your life that you love. Let them know you love them. As senseless of a tragedy as it gets. And that's what we are hopefully here to provide today is the embrace, as much of an embrace as we can. And so everything else kind of pales in comparison to the two lives that were lost, to the lives that were shattered. But he was one of us, and Johnny Gaudreau chose us, and by extension, his brother Matthew. And so that's my hope, and I'm sure everyone's hope today, is that we can do our best to honor them.
The Calgary Flames, with a series of statements as well, and he, through the years, I've tried to articulate, and I think anybody who pays attention, God, honestly, folks, it's very similar to the way that around here we love our Buckeyes, is the way that they love their Flames. I mean, Western Canada, those guys are larger than life in those towns. And Johnny Gaudreau chose us, but he had the city of Calgary and much of Alberta wrapped around his finger. They loved him in a way that few could. And the Flames with a statement here in the last couple of minutes. It's with great sadness we mourn the tragic deaths of our beloved Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. Our hearts are broken by this devastating loss. Johnny was and always will be a member of the Flames family, loved by all of Calgary. It was our privilege to call Johnny our teammate for 9 amazing years in Calgary. He came to Calgary as a young man and grew up here not only as a superstar on the ice, but also a beloved member of our community. The pain we feel for Johnny's wife, Meredith, sister, children, Noah and Johnny, parents, Jane and Guy, sisters, Kristen and Katie, and the entire Johnny Gaudreau family is immense. Ownership, management, players, and staff of the Flames express our heartfelt sympathies during the time of sorrow. You are in our thoughts and prayers. It's an unimaginable, completely avoidable tragedy. Aaron Portzline will join us for some perspective coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
While the world whizzes by, enjoy a moment of me time with Tim Hortons $6 breakfast bundle. Savor a small hot or iced coffee, then add your choice of a mouth-watering hot breakfast sandwich and a crispy golden hash brown and your pick of a classic donut. All for $6, all just for you. Make your mornings all about me time with our $6 breakfast bundle. Available at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. Price and participation vary. Terms apply.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I need tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in and we'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh yeah, we send you over to Ollie's Oil for that. They're right down the road.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
Also, 6 out of 10 cars need alignment.
Well, just travel on over to Alignments or Us.
Calculating time for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and alignment all in one fell swoop?
Oh, I observed that Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment, is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Hey, it's Jen Winters. Join me Friday afternoon from 3 to 5 at the grand opening of Bob's Discount Furniture at Polaris. Games and prizes, plus the latest styles and way better prices at the brand new Bob's Discount Furniture at Polaris this Friday.
We don't talk politics on The Fan. We'd rather talk about things that unite us, like the exciting Buckeye season ahead and pizza. How about the rebirth of the Jackets and pizza? Your home of the Buckeyes, Jackets, pizza, and no politics. The Fan.
Giant Eagle and Market District have deals for school days. That's right. Find the discounts, specials, and savings you need to start the back-to-school season. Return to your routine and shop while saving big in the process. There are over 1,000 items with incredible low prices throughout the store. Don't wait, because the Deals for Days sales are only available for a limited time. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today. Learn more about the Deals for Days sales event at gianteagle.com.
Now you can ship the delicious flavors of Schmidt sausages to any tailgate around the country. Send a taste of Columbus tradition to your favorite fan base, wherever they may be. Just place your order, and Schmidt's will package up their famous sausages and sides ready for the grill on game day. Go to schmidthaus.com/shop and use coupon code TAILGATE and receive 15% off your purchased order. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture's mission is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices. They remind herbicide and pesticide users to always read and follow the product label. The label is the law, so take the time to know how it should be used and how to use it safely. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified arborists in Ohio. Visit www.treesforohio.org to find an arborist near you. That's www.treesforohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
96 and hot out there today, but as we go towards tonight, we cool off to around 70. Clouds and showers on your Saturday with a high of 84. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 88. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
And obviously tragedy in the capital city this morning. The loss of Johnny Gaudreau. For some perspective, our great friend Aaron Portzline joins us now, covers the Jackets for The Athletic, and I say for perspective, I don't know what the hell that even means, buddy. Just a damn senseless tragedy. How did you come of the news, and how did you process it this morning?
Yeah, geez, it's a really, I don't know how you, I mean, I can't work through it. I can't imagine what the Gaudreau family's going through.
No.
I mean, to lose two kids, that is an unbelievably tight-knit family. Mm-hmm. To lose two kids at the snap of a finger. Today was to be one of the sisters, her wedding day, and they were going to be groomsmen. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think of his wife. He's got two kids under the age of 2. I mean, supposed to be a man of words, and they're hard to come by in a situation like this. It's just utterly devastating.
It's the I had an email this morning from a listener. It was, I don't know, 5 a.m. or something like that. I had a tough time sleeping last night for whatever reason, and normally this is a exciting show to do, because it's the Friday before a Buckeye season and all of that. Sure. And I had an email and it just said Johnny Hockey tragedy. And then you go to the social and I think you and I have been doing this long enough that when there is that much smoke, it's never good. But I think that name is in it, right? I mean, if you think about that Johnny Hockey, the joy that he took the ice with, Porty. Yeah. And I grew up a Flames fan, and he took that province, he took that city by storm. Yeah. Right. Porty. It was impossible that he was going to play here. Yeah. Going into that summer. Impossible.
Yeah. And I mean, to grab that nickname, you got to be pretty special to begin with. I think he's a guy that everybody rooted for too. At 5'9", maybe 165 pounds, maybe. And here he did what he did, played the way that he played. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few guys, really, and it was that nickname from the hockey world that could transcend all of sports. Yeah. I certainly don't think his name probably leaped to mind as quickly as, Crosby, McDavid, whatever, but everybody had heard of Johnny Hockey. Oh, there's the Johnny Hockey guy, no matter if you're a hockey fan or not. And yet, this guy who could have had an absolutely huge ego was literally among the most down-to-earth guys in the room. Chill, totally chill. These guys make a lot of money, and many of them dress accordingly. Johnny was most comfortable on off day wearing a T-shirt that should have been retired probably 10 years ago with flip-flops. That was just his thing. And yet, as much as he didn't want an aura, he had an aura, especially to the young players in the room. It's an immeasurable loss. I mean, I just, there's going to be a state of shock here for a while. We're all trying to process this, and I just don't know how you do it.
You don't, honestly. I don't think you do. It's I mean, to lose two sons, to lose a father, to lose. I mean, his sons are going to grow up. I mean, they're so young. You know, that just breaks. You can hardly even say it out loud. You know, the thing that struck me, I mean, just one more, just absolutely gut-wrenching part of this is part of the reason he came here was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but was coming out of COVID, you know, with what was going on in Canada at that time, he couldn't see his family the way that he wanted to. And so the sick twist that this is also the ultimate of family gatherings.
Yeah.
You knew him better than I, and you know, we had him on a couple of times. He's incredibly gracious and great to have on, but I won't pretend that I know him the way that you did. But the one thing that I think anybody could say is that family was paramount for him, was it not?
It was, and you know how it is with he wanted to be the big thing for him. It takes a full day, you know this, to get to Calgary. Mm-hmm. Especially coming from New Jersey, you're looking at least 2 flights for sure. And they couldn't get in. They couldn't get there, and it drove him crazy. He wanted to be close to family, and I say this completely as someone who's been married for 30 years and knows the drill. It's kind of like how some kids go to college. You want to be kind of close to home, but not too close to home. Yeah. And he thought Columbus was the perfect landing space, as a place he could. And I got to tell you, his dad was here all the time. Mm-hmm. Gaudreau, here all the time. That family is incredibly tight knit, and I hope that bond, which I mean, yeah, this is, I don't know, I'm just throwing words out there at this point. I hope that incredible bond that family has is in some way their greatest gift right now to get through something like this, because I've been thinking as a parent, just a human being, that how do you go? You have to go on. You do go on. How do you go on, though? Incredible.
You go on as a shadow of yourself, right? Yes. I mean, that's what it'll be, is you'll be physically going on, but never whole again. You'll live the rest of your life never shaking this and the senselessness of it, just the stupidity of the whole thing. Just a stupid thing. The hockey stuff is so distant. Yes. But how does my God, from an organizational standpoint that is just far too used to tragedy, Porty. Yes. I mean, this is another one? My God.
Yeah.
Just another senseless tragedy, Porty.
We go back to the early days of the franchise, Brittany Cecil. We go back to a former player, Trevor Hendricks. We go back, obviously, not that long ago now, to Matisse Kivlenieks. And I got to tell you, though, Kivlenieks was still finding his footing in the NHL then, but he'd spent enough time in Columbus for there to be the profound feeling at that training camp that there was something missing, somebody missing. And, you know, that Gaudreau is going to be and again, I'm not even talking as a hockey player, just as a person, as a friend of those guys in the room. It's an incredible hole that can never be filled.
These are brutal things. Look, you and I have been doing this for a long time, and it's hard to find words for all of it. I knew that you were someone I wanted to talk to today, so I thank you so much for your time and your perspective on it all. as you're processing it as well, my friend. God bless you. God bless your family. And thanks for your time today.
Right back at you, my friend. Thank you.
That's Aaron Portzline with The Athletic on the senseless loss of life in New Jersey from yesterday of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, a drunk driver. He couldn't just stay behind the damn car. The reporting, he tried to pass on the right, and they were waiting. My God, there's no, folks, I'll just be honest with you, there's no real roadmap for something like this when you're doing a show like this. So we're going to do the best we can. We're going to continue to pay homage and mourn and grieve with you, and we're gonna try to do a little of the normal show that we do as well, because I certainly can acknowledge that there are people who want distraction and those type of things. So we're gonna do the best we can. We ask for your grace and your patience, and we're gonna do that till noon, and we'll do the best we can on this thing. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Bobby Carpenter doesn't have a mullet, but he's knee-deep in mullet energy. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan.
And this summer with Zumbizi Bay, Central Ohio's largest water park. Take your last ride on Dolphin Dash before exciting new things come next season. Soak up the sunshine and dive into an unforgettable experience for the whole family. Zumbizi Bay offers nonstop fun for everyone. Enjoy $19.99 admission after 4 p.m. Get your tickets now and make your final splash at ZumbiziBay.com.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent to help you pick a policy that's right for you. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. JermaineLexus.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans, ready for the chance to win one of 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for two to the Oregon game, and exclusive access to the Ryan Day Coaches Show. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 winners. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save up to $180 on select sets of 4 Vredestein tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends August 31st. See store for details.
Driving this summer in a new Honda. Act now during Honda's summer event to save thousands with low 1.9% financing. Full inventory is here. Cars, SUVs, trucks, vans, and hybrids. With hybrids, the battery charges as you drive. Don't miss Honda's summer event with big savings on gas or hybrid, like the 2024 Honda Ridgeline. Now with low 1.9% financing. Search your local Honda dealer.
See dealer for financing details for well-qualified buyers. Offer ends 9/3/24.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream, but it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online. So your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 2 restaurant locations in Grandview and Gahanna. Drink local, drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Friday. We had obviously this is tough. It's tough to do it. The passing of Johnny Gaudreau is going to be kind of over all of us today. It's going to be as our city mourns, a fan base mourns, a franchise mourns. My God, a family. As a parent, all you want, Dom talks about this all the time with his incredible loss of Maria. And I've spent many time talking to Dommy about that. And the thing you fear the most as a parent is exactly what just happened to the Gaudreau family yesterday. You anything but that, right? And there's a love for child that is until you have it, it's hard to put your head around it and wrap your head around it. But it is the most vulnerable thing that you can do. It is the most important job you'll ever do. It is the hardest job you'll ever do. You're never going to stop worrying about them, ever. My hunch would be that even at Johnny was 31, his brother Matthew is 29. Even at that age, their parents worried every night. Are they home? Probably a text. You good? Did you have a good day? If you don't hear back, then the worry starts to perk up. So from that perspective, anybody out there can relate to this, because the most unimaginable grief that you can have as a human is the loss of child. And so that's what they are dealing with. And the anger that will come from this, because this was a completely avoidable, senseless thing. This is someone who has been charged with driving under the influence on a Thursday, who didn't have the patience to just stay in traffic and tried to pass on the inside, according to some of the police reports that are out there. And in a blink, it's all gone. Folks, part of this show and part of what I do, certainly, and I enjoy a cocktail. Damn it, don't ever don't get behind the wheel of a car. Not after one, not after any. There are so many ways to avoid this. This isn't 40 years ago where you can't find a ride. Ride options are infinite. If anything can come of this, have some sense, have some damn sense to you and think of this and think of how easy it is. Uber, Lyft, friend, text, 1,000 options. God almighty, walk. Don't get behind the wheel of a car.
I think it can also be really important to center these thoughts too, and just don't take it as a personal thing. But if you're with friends and you feel like they've had a few too many, encourage them to get the ride share, leave their car. Don't get in the car with them, but don't let them leave either. I think that that is a personal responsibility that we all can take from this, and something we can learn from it. And Bo, you mentioned the anger and everything, and you're going to feel that, the idea of the steps of grief. Anger is one of them, and we're going to go through that as a Blue Jackets community, as a Columbus community. Nothing like what the Gaudreau family is going through, but we're going to go through that. And my hope is that as a Columbus and Blue Jackets community, we can put our arms around each other. Everybody can kind of take a big hug, especially today when it's so fresh, and hopefully send that support as much as we can out to the people who are really experiencing this tragedy, and hopefully we can get through this as a group and move forward. But save that anger at the driver and at all that stuff. Bo, I like your message of don't get behind the wheel, especially leading into this weekend. But save all the anger about that guy and, he should be thrown in jail and all this stuff. Save that for a different day. Focus on the Gaudreaus today. That's the real tragedy here. And we can figure out the other details as time moves on. But there's no more time for Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. And that's the real impetus of today and why it is so hard to get on here and talk and just go about your normal day. I can't imagine, it's so hard to get on here and talk about it, but at least working through it and doing it. How the hell are you supposed to open up a spreadsheet and put stuff in Excel if you were that close to a Blue Jackets organization? I just don't get it, how we just carry on like this. We just go on. It's so hard.
We be better.
And actually, no, I see this right now. Sorry. Coors Light is on display. Somebody said that in the YouTube chat right now. Send the emails to upper management. The show before us, I respect Bobby and Beam. They took that down. Management wanted it back up. Send it to them, not me. I just sit here next to it. I don't want to today.
I think it's with so many emotions. That we just be better to each other, and we be patient, and we be gracious, and we make sure that when we're driving, when we're writing, when we're out, that we just remember that everybody has a right to be out there, whether it's on a bike, whether it's on a car, whether it's just walking, and even when we're interacting with each other, we do so with more grace. And with this shouldn't serve as a reminder, but it does.
You learn how fragile it all is. You're reminded of it, of how fragile it all is, and how preventable it all is, quite honestly. We'll get some thoughts together. We'll continue. Johnny Gaudreau, his brother Matthew, they are gone. And that is a devastating thing. And I cannot imagine what the last 12 hours have been for that family. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. This season on Nada Yada Island. You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
Hey, it's Anthony here from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal. 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
We are Ortho Alliance. Together, we deliver the most experienced orthopedic care near you and throughout Central Ohio. Together, we provide expert care when you need it with same-day and next-day appointments. We put our patients' care first, from physical therapy to the most challenging joint replacement surgeries. We are JIS Orthopedics, Ortho Neuro, Orthopedic Associates of Zanesville, Orthopedic Foot and Ankle Center, and Orthopedic Specialists in Sports Medicine. And we are better together. Visit orthoalliance.com.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam over here for my great friends over at Wendy's. And Wendy's new saucy nugs, well, they're here. That means the best nugs in the entire game are now even better. You can choose between Wendy's iconic crispy or spicy nugs covered in bold, flavorful sauces, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and even spicy ghost pepper. Eat them with a fork, eat them with your hands, eat them for lunch, eat them after midnight. There's no wrong answer. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Ooh, it's NFL time. My nipples are so hard right now. Anyway, the Ravens battle the Chiefs from Arrowhead Thursday, September 5th.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan.
So I think we can all agree that being number one doesn't suck. Hey, it's Bobby again for my friends at Pella Columbus. And not too long ago, there was a big fancy window survey done, and you, Columbus, voted Pella, the leading window brand in town, number one for innovation, the most trusted, and number one for improving the look and value of your home. And I think that says all we need to say. If you're ready to look at windows and doors that are truly game changers for your home, see my friends at Pella Columbus at their brand new Polaris showroom.
Your local Rite Aid might be closing, but don't worry. It's easy to transfer your prescriptions with GoodRx. First, check prices at GoodRx.com or on our app. Then show your coupon to the pharmacist. It's that simple. GoodRx can save you up to 80% on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, GoodRx is free, and it works whether you have insurance or not. Download the app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Certainly not the in show that the show that you planned on doing, the show that you intended to do. I also think that when you, I do not take lightly the responsibility and the privilege of being on air and having a voice for this community. And one of the things that I fiercely protect is this space and this sense of family. And those of you who listen regularly, one of the things that I've always done with the show is have that sense of family, whether it is sharing what the boys are doing or oftentimes making light of the absurdities of their lives and the things that they say. But I hope that when you hear me speak of them, it speaks to the overwhelming love that I have for them, and me choosing to share them with you is something you don't take that choice lightly. There's a vulnerability to it when you do it, and there's a vulnerability that I have when I do the show, and one from the standpoints of today, when you think of a father and a mother who lost their two sons, and you think of a father, you think about two little boys who will grow up not knowing their father, and a wife who will try to track down and tackle the most impossible. They'll have each other. They'll never be whole. They'll be shadows of themselves, the entire Gaudreau family. They'll never shake it. There will be stages of just unimaginable grief that they are now. There will come a point where the anger will take over in terms of the senselessness of all of this. And then after that, there will be a grief that will only last the rest of their lives. I won't pretend that I know the family, but I would also imagine that there will be, I think of Dom, and I think about what he went through with Maria, and I think about the work that he has done on the efforts of distracted driving. And I think of the hero that he has been in our community for that, and how many lives has he saved. And I suppose at some point you'll get to a point where you try to make sure something like this never happens again, but the reality is it will. It'll happen over and over again, these tragedies. We're talking about this now because Johnny Gaudreau is a Columbus Blue Jacket. This could have happened last night, and if it wasn't him, wouldn't have crossed our wavelength. But it was, so it's in our lap. And so we grieve, all of us do, in that way. And you just try to be there for each other, and you try to be supportive for each other, and acknowledge that this is really tough, is what it is. You're just awash with grief. My head at least, Reese, it's just one, oh my God, I hadn't thought, oh geez. It just goes in so many directions.
I'll say this as long as I have breath. He was one of us. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I and so many people have found when moving to this area is the absolute love and the warm embrace that this community gives to everybody that's considered, to everybody that's in it, to the kindness, the compassion, and you think of the 2 years that we got to have with Johnny Gaudreau, and at no point, even through the bad times, was there not a smile on his face.
No.
And that's the one thing that I want to keep remembering today, and it's the one thing that the more so than just the hockey was the tremendous person that Johnny Gaudreau was. That the senselessness of this, and you hate to have this remind you just that you want to be kind to everybody that you come across. His daughter, his son, that they will grow up with the legacy that was their father, and that everybody, within the hockey community and the world that got to know Johnny Gaudreau will have just tremendous things to say about him. And I'm on days like this, it's so difficult, but I'm so appreciative of everybody that I have in my life, and everybody that's listening. And I can't tell you how much this means to have this community and all of you.
Yeah. So we're you're doing this on the fly, right? And I don't know I'll be very candid with you guys, and I'll speak to you as vulnerably as and as honestly as I can. I don't really know the right way to go and do what is typically a Football Friday show. We're going to do the best that we can on that. My gut right now is that what we'll try to do with the next couple of hours is mix some things in. So allow some grace, and certainly there's going to be people who are joining us and missed, some of this hour. We're going to try to pay proper homage to Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. We are going to attempt to mourn with the Blue Jackets family. We'll mourn as a community. And at the same time, hopefully, we're going to try at least to provide a little bit of distraction. If that's something that you want, I don't know if that's what I want or not. But I've been doing this a long time, and I'm hopeful that we can strike the proper tenor and tone of this. Just ask for some patience and some grace, and we'll do the best we can. Second hour of the program up next. Tim May will join at 10:33. Doug at 11:33. We'll get you set for the weekend of college football. While I hope trying to also do right by the losses for the Gaudreau family. Second hour up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Mega Millions! The Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot is up to $627 million. So I'm shouting it from my rooftop. Go play Mega Millions today. Then help me get down. And don't miss out on the excitement of Keno with 300 draws every day. Pick your numbers. Pick your wagers. Keno is always fun. Your way.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
When your job demands more than just hard work, trust Timberland Pro, the brand that defines superior comfort, performance, and durability. Built on a legacy of craftsmanship, Timberland Pro provides boots and apparel that stand up to the toughest challenges. Our products are as resilient as the skilled men and women who wear them. From the workshop to the job site, Timberland Pro is there with you every step of the way, blending innovation with time-tested quality. Discover why professionals choose Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Visit timberlandpro.com or your local Timberland Pro dealer.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
I'm Eric Reeser. Terrible news this morning. The Blue Jackets have confirmed the passing of forward Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. The two men were hit and killed last night while riding bikes in New Jersey. Police there say the two were struck by an SUV around 8 p.m. Thursday. The driver of that vehicle was arrested under suspicion of driving under the influence. He's been charged with 2 counts of death by auto. The 31-year-old Gaudreau chose Columbus 2 years ago and was a leader on and off the ice. Our thoughts are with the Gaudreau family and everyone in the Blue Jackets organization. Week 1 of the college football season kicked off last night. Number 2 Ohio State hosts Akron tomorrow at 3:30. We'll have live fan pregame coverage Saturday morning at 10 a.m. A pair of Big Ten teams are in action tonight. Michigan State hosts Florida Atlantic at 7. At 9 p.m., Western Michigan is at Wisconsin. This update sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Central Ohio's F-150 truck headquarters, and official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
It's Friday, and there's football. I shall call it Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for all things football. The Fan. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
And the Buckeyes open the season tomorrow against Akron. Get ready for kickoff with the Fan. 10 to noon, Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Matty Ice and DeVere. And then noon to 2, the Curtis Associates Fan Tailgate Show with AR, Big Cat, and Tim May. And then 2 to 3:30, the Ohio State Sports Network pregame show with Paul and Jim. Listen on your radio or stream 971thefan.com app or also on YouTube. Your home of the Buckeyes, 97.1 The Fan. Acknowledging the immense tragedy that has happened with the loss of the Gaudreau brothers and Johnny, and the grief that this community feels, and the grief that the organization feels, and the Gaudreau family feels. I'm just basically going to tell you guys what I'm going to attempt, what we're going to try to do. And I don't know if it's right. I don't know what the right path is, but we'll the first hour of the show, correctly so, in my opinion, we grieved, we mourned, we continue to. It's going to be tough. There's no easy way to do it. It's brutal. But I talked in the previous segment about, the sense of community that I feel with all of you and the loyal listeners and our partners and all of it. And I mentioned how I found out about the passing of Johnny from an email. Sometimes as you're grieving or you're hurting, you look for a distraction. So we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to do a distraction. Reese and I will do the best we can, and try to. Fun is not the right. We're not going to have fun, but we'll do some college football here for the next couple hours as well. And I mentioned that email that I got this morning from Chris, letting me, which was the first I heard of this. It was preceded by an email from John, who the subject he wrote was, "Be professional, pay up on your T's," is what John wrote in the headline. And then the message wrote, "Mr. Bishop, because I love you and have a deep appreciation for your show, I'm here to hold you accountable for failing to follow through on your T's yesterday, sir. During the email segment, you mentioned my email, the college football best bets, and didn't follow through later on the 11 o'clock hour. I say again, I have 4 daughters, and weddings aren't getting any cheaper. Be professional, pay up on your T's." Sincerely, John. My bad, John. It struck me, though, because it was as we're going through the stages of this morning with all of you. I think that's probably what I'm most proud of this show is John's email is written entirely tongue-in-cheek. And I would say John is somebody who absolutely gets everything that we've always tried to do with the show. It's a hell of an email from him. And I was going to rib him a little bit today. have a little fun with it. Struggling for the tone of that, but at the same time, I did find that pretty entertaining last night when I did read that. He was trying to. His idea was he wanted to put his daughter's weddings to take care of him by us picking the best chances to make the playoff. So he printed out the ones that he liked the best. They played college football last night. We're going to play college football tomorrow. The Buckeyes will host Akron. My hunch is that Ohio State will. There will be a moment of silence, and there will be those type of things that will happen in homage of Johnny and the tremendous loss. And then you'll play a football game. And speaking specifically just to that, this is, the other thing about this, guys, is sport. Sport is the purest. God dang, I love it. I just love it. It is the purest form of distraction. I was at a high school football game last Friday night, and they had the youth football night, and so it was packed. I had to be upwards of 10,000 people at this game, and in the community I live in, there aren't many things left out there where in 2024 a whole community comes together and there's no talk of who you're voting for, or if your kid got the right teacher, or does your kid like his class or her class. There wasn't any of that. It was kind of everybody rooting for the town and the community. And that's the beauty of sport. I've always felt very strongly about this, that if you're one of the 100,000 or so who go to the shoe tomorrow and you see Ohio State play Akron, you are not going to give much credence to what the people sitting to your left or right or in front of you or behind you, where they are on any sort of political spectrum or where they stand with much of anything. You're kind of all there for the common good. You're there for the common good of the great distraction that is sport. It's really what it is. It's best. It's something that we can all do together as a community. It's something that there's a community here in town, and there's a community with your friends, and then there's a Buckeye community that's global, and there's all of this. I talked in the first hour about how tight-knit and small the hockey community is. And how this loss will reverberate through that, quite honestly, like a missile. I mean, you've seen it this morning already. And sport can do that. Sport can be that blanket. It can be that distraction. It can be that thing that we all do together. I've been on the rare instance when you're at a sporting event, whether it's a youth event or a Buckeye game or a Bengals-Browns game or a Crew game or a Blue Jackets game, whatever you're going to, it really doesn't matter the level of it. When you go to one of those things and you, on the rare instance where somebody does bring up something that is polarizing, they're almost shunned, right? It's like, oh, really?
Even if a group there agrees with them.
Go down that road?
Yeah.
Like, don't go down that road. I don't want you to talk about that. Just stay out of it. That's not. We're here for the sport of it all. And as we're kind of navigating this, as I'm navigating it this morning, my judgment, and again, I ask for your grace and patience, is that we can try to provide a little bit of that distraction. So that's what we'll try to do. This is what is it, 48.5, Reese?
That's what we've got.
This thing ended up at 48.5 tomorrow. But at 3:30, there are many of you that probably cross over, Blue Jackets and Buckeyes fans, and for that time, you're going to be able to turn it on, and you'll be able to unplug, and you'll be able to just watch a football team play. And there will be people who will say, but not now, that can wait, whatever. And I understand that too. There's no right, wrong way to do this. You do the best you can when you're in this spot. But there is one thing that I think we can all agree on, that sport provides that distraction. Sport provides that unifying factor. Quite honestly, folks, I think better than anything else in society. I really haven't seen anything else that we can all kind of galvanize around and row in the same direction with. And yeah, you have your teams that you root against and villains and all of that, but that's part of it. But you also have this incredible sense of community that comes with it. You have this incredible sense of we're all in this together. Honestly, more than any other facet. I remember when James and I were doing the show, and we were talking about, you'd have to talk about various things, and he would give sometimes his perspective of it, and people would, whether they would email in or on social or whatever, and say, what do you know about that? You're just a football player. And I remember firing back at that pretty harshly and just saying, like, actually, the experiences James has are more eyes wide open than anything. If you walk into a football locker room, whether it's little guy, high school, Ohio State, college, pro, it's the most diverse group of humans you're going to find. It's all walks of life, various races, various socioeconomic backgrounds. And what do they have to do? They all have to find a way to row in the same direction, right? So, and with that, we kind of all benefit in the distraction of it, right? Because whatever's going on at your house, whatever's going on at your job, whatever's going on here, if you can unplug at 3:30 tomorrow and put on the fan and listen to Paul and Jim and watch your Buckeyes, whatever's going on in your life, whether you're still grieving, and many of you still will be, the loss of Johnny Gaudreau, or whatever happened at your job, or whatever you're dealing with your family, for those 4 hours, you can wipe that slate clean. And for some of us, that'll start tomorrow at 9 a.m. And we'll go, I got a Bootsy game at 9 a.m. And then it's going to be college game day, and it's going to be into college football all day long. I watched college football last night. I'm going to watch college football tonight. I'm probably going to go to the high school game again tonight because I like the way it made me feel. So I'll probably do that as well. And you will get that distraction that comes with it. You're going to get the reset that comes with it. And that's kind of the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, is it allows you to clean. It allows you the reset. It's kind of a factory reset for your brain, right? Oh yeah, this is what I do. 3:30, we'll watch the Buckeyes, or we'll watch whoever your team is out there. Obviously, the majority out there listening are Buckeyes, and you'll get that kind of that cleanser, and so that's kind of what sports is, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's the most beautiful thing, one of the most beautiful things we have in society, quite honestly, at the moment. I really do. So coming up next, we're going to do some college football. We're going to get some picks. We'll pick our conference winners. We'll pick Heisman winners. We'll do kind of our Final Four, national championship, all of those things. We'll get those things on the record. We'll talk some college football, and I hope that what it provides for you is what it provides for me, which is a little bit of release, a little bit of put the pain aside, and have a little bit of a distraction. And so we'll give you our 24 college football picks coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yeah,
that's you taking another sip of your Do the Dew.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
President Trump endorses Bernie Moreno because only Moreno will fight to make America great again.
We love Ohio and we love Bernie Moreno.
America needs Donald Trump and Bernie Moreno. They're both outsiders and successful businessmen, and together, Trump and Moreno will save America from the career politicians like Sherrod Brown and Kamala Harris who are destroying our nation.
We've had enough of these lifelong career politicians.
Bernie is a political outsider who has spent his entire life building up Ohio communities. He's highly respected, and he's going to be a warrior in Washington. And we have to elect Bernie to get in there and to seal our border, stop inflation, crush the deep state, and prevent World War III. Vote for Bernie Moreno. He'll be a great, great senator.
Help make America great again with outsiders President Trump and his pick for Senate, Bernie Moreno.
I'm Bernie Moreno, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by NRSC and authorized by Bernie Moreno for Senate.
We don't talk about politics on the Fan. Instead, we welcome Buckeyes fans, NFL fans, and anyone looking to escape the never-ending cycle of misery. You're safe here, friends. The Fan, home of the Buckeyes and Ohio's politics-free destination.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby! Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them. Not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation. Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Manny Chopra, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value and have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, and are bound by the highest ethical standards. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, please visit oda.org.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today we're tracking a lot of sunshine, highs around 97. The good news though, today is our last extremely hot day for a while. It gets much cooler heading into your Saturday, 84 tomorrow with more clouds and a few showers, and then highs in the middle 80s as we head into Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hey there, friends. It's your Uncle Bo here. If you're like me and millions of other men out there and you find yourself feeling a little sluggish, a little tired, a little bit off, energy maybe not what it used to be, maybe you're not sleeping great, I certainly wasn't. If there's any of those symptoms that apply to you, it's possible, even likely, that you're suffering from low testosterone, and help is on the way with my great friends at Tri-State Men's Health. For me, it was chasing the boys all over the area, all the youth sports. I started to notice I just didn't have the energy I used to. I was looking for a real lasting solution. If this sounds like you as well, go to tristatemenshealth.com, take the low T quiz on the website. If the symptoms apply, schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health. They're going to do your lab work. They're going to give you results in about 30 minutes. I went through the process, could not have been happier with how easy it is. I couldn't be happier with the results that I've had as well. If you make that decision with their medical team, the cost of appointment's $99. That's free. They take care of you on that side of things. You're going to find real lasting solutions. Go visit my friends at Tri-State Men's Health, 800-900-9654, tristatemenshealth.com today. 2 locations here in town. Quick exit off 270 in Hilliard and near Medical Mile in Westerville. Week 1, boy, did it? I'm sure you guys both watched the Colorado game last night.
A real shame that weather delay in the Minnesota game. I couldn't make it to the end of it.
No, I couldn't either. No, it was too late. I watched the Colorado game all the way through and kept waiting for them to separate. And I almost wouldn't put it past them. I kind of wondered if Dion was trying to. That's just the way that they played the last minute 45 was so nuts. They threw the ball. They have one timeout left. North Dakota State has one timeout left, and they throw the ball on first down, which forces them to punt it with 50 seconds versus 3 seconds, which it would have been if they just ran it 3 times. And so I part of me was wondering, is he trying to stat pad for Shedeur and Travis Hunter? Was he trying to
I thought the same thing.
Didn't you?
Through most of the game. Yeah. I was like, well, they're not getting a whole lot of push. It was kind of fun to see Dallin Hayden out there, but I'm like, he's really trying to will Shedeur to that Heisman.
Well, and post-game, Dion was saying that, I don't know why Shedeur did that. He just decided, he almost, blamed it on Shedeur, and it's like, wait, don't you guys call the plays? Did he audible into a pass with a minute 40 left?
I missed that post-game. I turned it off after it was 11.
I was reading his quote this morning, so I don't know exactly his tone. Maybe it was a little more tongue-in-cheek, but I was just reading the quote, but I was like, what? Are you saying Shedeur went rogue and decided to throw it with less than 2 minutes left? Also, I think that North Dakota State didn't manage the clock right. With the 2-minute warning, you take that time out and make after the second down, you take the 2-minute warning, not let it run down.
This is what I think. I think that college coaches aren't used to the 2-minute warning and how to manage it, because NFL
everybody
coaches
seems confused during it. Yeah.
NFL coaches would have done it the way that we're used to them doing it, which is, you burn your timeouts and you save the time as fast as you can. And you don't wait. You don't ever let clock go off when you can stop it. It's kind of the simplest rule on that. Mm-hmm. And no, they did not manage that right. But I just think it's a new rule, and are you used to managing it? And that's kind of what it struck to me like. They are absolutely brutal on the lines of scrimmage. Colorado is. They have no push. Honestly, their offensive line is going to get really eaten alive when they play teams with, and NDSU's fine. They're good. They're not what they were a few years ago, but they're a very quality team. They'll be a top 5 team in FCS. But they really bullyballed them for a lot of that game. I was surprised Dallin didn't have a bigger impact. I thought he would go there and really shine, but he didn't really get in until the second half.
Their line kind of stinks again.
It does.
Yeah,
it really does. They can't block it.
And the other thing, too, North Dakota State, Shedeur Sanders is so great and athletic that he was able to escape some of that. Against better opponents, they're going to get him more often. They only had 1 sack last night, but how many times were they inches, centimeters away? And the better teams on their schedule are going to get Shedeur, and he was the most sacked quarterback in college last year. And the talent of the really, really top-end talent players oozes off the screen when you're watching Colorado, especially playing an opponent that doesn't match up talent-wise. But if you really watch it, you can see all the holes of how this was a 4-8 team last year, and I don't think will be much better this year.
And you juxtapose that to how Utah looked.
Yeah.
I know it's Southern Utah, but Cam Rising looked like he was healthy last night.
He looks ready to go. I'll tell you this, all the things that we've said about Colorado can be true, and it can also be true that Travis Hunter might just do enough to be in the Heisman mix if he can stay upright. He took 2 plays off yesterday. 2 plays off. He played every other snap in the football game, offensively and defensively. The catch he had, his 3rd touchdown. I don't
even know how to
as good as I've
describe
ever
it.
seen.
Yeah.
I don't know how you contort. I was watching it with NBC on the way to school this morning, and he was trying to mimic how he contorted himself to be able to do it, and it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. It was fun having all those games last night. It was fun bouncing around and watching Minnesota and North Carolina, and that one was delayed, but watching that a little bit.
Monunga had 165 on the ground for Rutgers.
About to say, any of you sickos out there watching Rutgers Howard?
Oh, I did.
Is it
Ethan
Kaliakmanis?
Yes, he is.
What's he doing?
I don't know why. There's 2 things with him. One, he's not very good, but he does have a gunslinger mentality, so he does exciting things. I remember that game last year. Minnesota opened up on the Thursday. Remember they played Nebraska, and he was kind of wild in that game. So I think he's kind of a fun quarterback to watch, but not very good. Plus, Rutgers is going to run the ball a lot. I don't understand why Minnesota went off him for this Brosmer guy. He is terrible. I know the weather wasn't great before the game, but it looked relatively clear during the game. And that guy is not going to get it done in a major conference. I know they were playing UNC, so they weren't playing a patsy opponent. So I'm not relating them to the other teams that, like Rutgers beat Howard. But Minnesota's quarterback situation looks dire to me.
It does. That was an interesting one from the standpoint as I'm watching Mac Brown coach at North Carolina, and I'm thinking holy cow, he had 2 NFL quarterbacks back-to-back at Carolina in Sam Howell and Drake May. And he's 73 years old, right? And he was out of coaching for a while before coming back to Carolina. He was out of the coaching for 6 years following his tenure at Texas. And he gets back to Carolina in 2019, and he's been in that spot, for a little bit. And it's hard to when you start to think about that, you think man, the opportunity was probably there as Clemson was drifting a little bit, and as Florida State was kind of trying to find their way in the early years of Norvell. There was an opportunity there for maybe Carolina to, win something of consequence. And it feels like that opportunity has come and went, because they do not look like their depth of talent is anywhere near what it was a couple of years ago. And Max Johnson's a fine quarterback, but is a big step back from what they had with Howell and what they had with Drake May. He is in his 6th season at North Carolina. 7-6 year 1, 8-4 year 2, 6-7 in year 3, then 9-5, 8-5, and off to a 1-0 start now. And by any measure, that would probably be less than what was expected. Certainly, the way that he kind of was shot out of a cannon from a recruiting standpoint.
Another funny coincidence with that game, Minnesota's kicker, same kicker both years, a 47-yarder makes it and beats Nebraska last year. 47-yarder misses it and loses to North Carolina in the last play of the game this year.
Yeah.
That's a weird full circle moment for a kicker.
It is, yeah. And so it was a loaded slate. Any of those games, if we would have plugged them into last weekend, would have gotten the type of attention that these games are getting now, because they were played on a Thursday night. You got a fun slate of games tonight as well. You get your first look at Oklahoma this year. They play tonight. The Saturday slate is really good. We'll pick it coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, but there's a lot of curious games. I think the Saturday night is really fun with Notre Dame and Texas A&M. I love that Sunday game with LSU and USC as well. So it's a fun kickoff to the college football season, and hopefully can provide some distraction here locally with the immense tragedy and the loss of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, and hopefully there can be a little bit of that as we're all in this, going through this thing together. Tim May will join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33, or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com. We're dealing.
With approved credit. 2024 Sentra SV FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Hey, it's Steve. Sorry couldn't get to the phone. Leave a message at the beep.
Hey, it's Jason from Chase. Congrats on closing day. Hope your daughter enjoys the new pool.
Start your house buying journey today with the Chase My Home digital dashboard. From applications to managing your mortgage, we're with you all the way home. Chase, make more of what's yours. Visit chase.com/home. Restrictions and limitations apply to the access of Chase My Home. Home lending products subject to credit and property approval. Rates and program terms subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner in these uncertain economic times, you struggle to guard your life's work against unexpected challenges. But can it withstand the sudden disruption of a divorce? In divorce, financials are scrutinized and the company itself could be in jeopardy. When your hard-earned work is at risk, count on our experience and advocacy in handling these matters at Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Columbus area attorneys. 10 West Broad Street, Suite 1550, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. CordellCordell.com.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers and hot dogs on the grill, and a delicious, refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar in your hand. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Pepsi, the official beverage of Grill's Night Out.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
You want a sub freshly sliced to order? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want the perfect radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a lone ninja warrior. By night, I glide unseen across the rooftops, watching my enemies from the shadows. By day, I go to Jersey Mike's, watching someone freshly slice my sub. My blade is called Shadow. His blade is a Berserker brand meat slicer. Clearly, I have much to learn about this land. Freshly sliced just for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I love my Kubota tractor, RTV, and zero turn I got from Green & Sons, and you can check them out online at greenandsons.com or visit them in store in Mount Sterling or north of Marysville in Raymond for all your Kubota needs.
It's Logan Services 55th anniversary sale. Replace your air conditioner and save up to 55% on a qualifying Trane furnace. Take action with a free estimate. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and get you back on the road in less time than it takes to get over from the express lane to the exit ramp. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Buckeyes opening tomorrow against Akron. A lead up to a season unlike any we have ever seen. The tone will obviously be different with the tragedy and the loss of the Gaudreau family. For some perspective on the game and just a guy I sure like to talk to. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show in Letterman Row, joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. You've been in this community a long time, buddy, and you got to go through these things from time to time. But sport can be the great distraction, can it not?
Absolutely, man. And I was offline until about 9:15 this morning, and then as soon as I got online, so to speak, I saw that, and I just it hits you sideways like a 2x4, and then of course what jumps out more than anything is someone posted a picture of him with his wife and 2 kids, and it just, I got my 2 grandsons. I just can't imagine. It's unfathomable what they're going through, and all because it looks like some idiot, just some idiot out there that had to be somewhere. And, so my heart goes out big time to the Gaudreau family and the Columbus Blue Jacket fans. And I've never heard anybody in the media, let me put it that way, I don't poll Blue Jacket fans all the time, never heard anybody in the media say one bad thing about Johnny Gaudreau. So
no.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. And you'll, as you go through all of this, you have this. There's various stages of it, and in all the while, you're going to play a football game tomorrow at 3:30. There's going to be 100,000 people in there. Many of them are going to be aware of that tragedy, but there will be a distraction of watching this football team play. And to that end, what do you think you're going to see tomorrow?
I'm gonna what I should see. I'm 70 now, so some of the years kind of mix up in my head a little bit. You know what I mean, Bo?
I do.
But I think I'm going to see Ohio State 1996 versus like Rice or Pitt, the year they won 70-3 and 72-0 or something. You know what I mean? To open the season. That's what I'm anticipating.
How do you think it's such a unique thing that Ryan Day is having to do this year, and that he's got this maybe his most talented team? But I mean, anytime people throw that around, I'm like, boy, 15 was pretty damn talented. You mentioned 96, 95. I mean, we've had a lot of 05, lost 2 games. I mean, that's the crazy thing about Ohio State football, isn't it, Tim, that oftentimes their most talented teams don't win it. It's usually the team before, the year before, or the year after. When you think about winning the ultimate prize, think about the Super Softs going all the way back with Woody's team,
sure.
In the year that you would have thought that they would have won it, didn't. They won it the year before. So that will be something that Ryan Day is going to have to do different. Also, Tim, he's going to have to navigate playing 16 games. So there's such an overwhelming advantage over Akron, but I'm guessing he's going to play a lot of depth tomorrow too. How do you think he goes about his business tomorrow? How do you think the operation will be?
Well, he and Chip Kelly think the same way. The first thing you got to do is make sure you do kick Akron's butt, before you start playing, clearing the bench, I guess, get Rudy in there, you know what I mean, type thing. Yeah. but they owe it to themselves, and they know this, to play a lot of guys tomorrow, because they've talked about it all winter, all spring and stuff. It's going to be a long season. The depth on this roster, I think, is what sets it apart for me covering this team. Is I think the depth is unprecedented, except for a couple of spots. And so you need to play all those guys for all kinds of reasons, but one of which is the 16-game season. You don't want people put in jeopardy that don't need to be. But this, Bo, guys can get hurt on the very first play of a game. So the idea you hide people to keep them from getting banged up. I mean, look at North Carolina last night. All of a sudden they lose their quarterback, a kid, Max Johnson, who's been a journeyman forever, and he's playing pretty hard, and boom, he's gone, right? And so you don't want that to happen, but you don't know when that's going to happen when you're playing football. So you got to play at 100 miles an hour, and then when you get things kind of tucked away, then you play other guys. But there are some guys who deserve to play whether it's tucked away or not, and that's what's going to be interesting, And I think in the linebacker area and the defensive line, they're definitely going to roll guys in. Offensive line, I think they want to play some depth as the game goes on. But Tegra Shabola getting that start at right guard, that's huge. He's the only guy who's never really been a starter somewhere or the other, including Seth McLaughlin, the center from Alabama. So, and then at quarterback, Will Howard started, 27, 28 games at Kansas State. That's part and parcel to why he's a starter here, because of the experience factor. Nobody else has started more than one game in that quarterback room. But number two, he's had a hell of a camp and just really stepped up. But then you want to see both of those, your big-time running backs, have a game, and yet you want to see James Peoples, because you're going to need James Peoples as this season goes along. And so there are all kinds of reasons for them to play guys early rather than sitting on them till late. But the main thing is everybody, but they're a 48-point favorite, depending on where you look. Yeah. I mean, you got to make sure that you take care of business first.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident that they will, and I'm kind of with you. I kind of envision that 70-7 type thing, something like that. Seems like it could be in play.
Yeah, that was a long way. That was a long way around for me to go. Yeah, I think you're going to play a lot of people.
Yeah, I think they're going to play. Well, you hit on something though. I think is really important. I think that there's this sense that the 12. I think for some people who, I think guys like us that are knee deep in the muck on this all the time, kind of probably have a similar thought. But I think that people think that a 12-team playoff is going to elicit all these different champions, and I actually think it's going to go the other way because I think
I do too.
I don't think people are prepared for the type of depth that you need to have to navigate a 16-game schedule and doing what I do with the Browns on the NFL side of things. Like, my God, you're playing. They were playing the 5th and 6th tackles, Tim. They played 5 quarterbacks last year. So I think teams I actually think there's fewer teams. I think like Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, maybe Bama, Texas. The depth of talent that you need is going to. Those teams have such an advantage, Tim.
Look who's sitting at the top of the polls, man. I mean, if you're really analyzing this, that's exactly what you're looking at. Is who is built for the long run, and these teams are. But that's still not to say you're not going to get a key person or 3 or 4 banged up along the way. And so you really it makes it a little bit more of a crapshoot for the elite teams too, because they've got to keep those rosters going. And let's face it, Bo, there will be only 2 teams that would possibly play 16 or possibly 17 games this year.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So, but we're talking about taking it the long haul. Yeah, Ohio State is built for that. This roster is built for that and built purposely for that.
It absolutely is. I know how much you love the quarterback position. I know how much you love the passing game. In your head, as you're envisioning the Will Howard season, what does it look like?
Yeah. It looks like Will Howard against Texas. What was that last year? A couple of years ago, ×2. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Except I think he's become a much better passer over the last 7 or 8 months, along with the fact that he's trimmed down. He's 6'5", 235, runs 22 miles an hour. I keep bringing that up because I'm telling you, that's specimen material right there. Yeah. And this guy's your quarterback now. When he sees green in front of him, he is not reluctant to take off. And as Chip Kelly, pointed out a couple of weeks ago, he's the kind of guy that's not going to get 4 or 5 yards. He may get, instead of 6, he may get 16. He may get 26 because he's going to be a load to tackle, to arm tackle, for example. So I see him having fun. I mean, he is so excited about getting on with this season. It's crazy. But I tell you, Devin Brown, I understand, had a really good camp too, and he's not as big as Will Howard, but he's a pretty stout individual for playing quarterback. So, no matter who they put in there, both of these guys not only, as I keep saying, not only can run, but will run and will run fast. And so that's what stands out to me about him. What really sets him apart. Ryan Day purposely has redone the quarterback position to a certain extent to incorporate somebody who will run. And I think it's going to start paying dividends beginning tomorrow.
Tim, is Maurice Clarett the last true freshman skill position player to start the opener at Ohio State?
That's trivia time. I didn't bring my trivia book with me. I'm trying
JK
to remember.
was there, but I mean, Mike Weber was there, but then he got hurt. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where they're. I think JK might have started at Indiana. Clearly, he was the back of record at Indiana because Mike Weber was banged up, and I think J.K. Dobbins in 2017, which was Ryan Day's first game too, might have started at Indiana. So, but let's face it, Jeremiah Smith's going to play a lot from probably the first down on, unless they go with 3 tight ends and 1 wide, and it being Emeka Egbuka, depending on the situation, right, Bo? Yeah. But the point is, Jeremiah Smith, the best way to put it, he's going to be a regular, from the very beginning of the year. Chris Carter didn't even start his first game. Give me a break, right? But everybody is looking forward to that. There are so many things you're looking forward to seeing tomorrow. You know what I'm looking forward to seeing? I'm looking forward, as I think I told you last, I'm looking forward to watching this defense play. This is a veteran, deep defense that's loaded with really seasoned personnel. And then you throw Caleb Downs into the mix, right?
Jeez.
I'm looking forward to watching this defense play because I think it could be exciting in its own right.
Might be the best back seven. I'm trying to think. I've been around here since 2007. Like on paper, it's as good as any back seven I've ever seen.
Let's wait till the year's over, but it's pretty good. I'll tell you what, the front four across the board, the front four, and then from a depth standpoint, the front 8 or 10, it's pretty damn good too. I mean, those are guys are gap jumpers. Get right, will get after it, and like I said, I'm as fired up to watch Tyleek Williams and Ty Hamilton play as I am the ends or whomever else. I mean, because those guys could really own the midway, and you've been watching college football, and you like a couple games you can talk about. I mean, where the line play, like watching Colorado last night. Colorado had all it could take, from the Dakotas, but that team, I don't see that team being much better than it was last year. So we'll see how that goes. But when you've got it in the trenches, man, you're going places.
Going to be a fun season, buddy. Going to be a fun Saturday afternoon to kind of get our first look at this team and all the talent that is on it. We would not do a Football Friday without you, my friend. I thank you so much for your time.
Hey, I'm about to go watch Archie's statue get unveiled. As I say, they're about to put an arch in the rotunda.
That's beautiful.
It's pretty
well
cool
played.
here, man. It's
That's
about
awesome.
time, right?
It is.
About time.
Long overdue. The great Tim May. Thanks, buddy. That's Tim May of the Tim May Show joining us on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. You'll be able to hear him and AR with Big Cat tomorrow on the pregame show. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You seem pretty happy this morning. I invented a song. You know songwriters have an actual word for inventing a song. Everything we want people to know about eco. Ready? Can't wait. Get eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get eco. They can really go. Get eco. For your Cinco. Fix in a blinko. You'll think-o. Hooray. Get eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get eco. You'll be cool like snow. Get eco. Like a nice Ringo. Puerto Rico. Get eco today. What do you think? You know we don't serve Puerto Rico, right? I do know that. I mean, the drive alone from Ohio is like, geez. Way too far. But you ran out of rhymes for eco? You gotta admit, the rest is pretty catchy. Oh, it's earworming already.
Get Eco.
As is that thing.
NFL action on Friday? You bet your sweet Pippi. Catch the Packers and Eagles live from Brazil. The fun starts Friday, September 6th on ESPN Columbus. Where's that? The Fans HD2 or 1460 AM.
Sponsored by Roosters.
Your home of the NFL. The Fan.
Cash, moolah, greenbacks dough, Skrilla chips, bread and mo. 2, 5, 10 and 20, 30 big ones, games aplenty. Cheddar, butter, lewd and scratch, find the letters. Make the match, cause there's many words for cash, no doubt, and many ways to play cash word. Check 'em out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's game time, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know?
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. JermaineLexus.com.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your half-calf heavy cream mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
I wanted to, before we get into these, and I planned to do this earlier, but we obviously were dealing with the incredible tragedy and the loss of Johnny Gaudreau. Yesterday, the news that Jim Donovan was retiring as the voice of the Cleveland Browns. Jim revealed that his cancer was back. He had been on that job for 25 years. He'd been in that community for a long time. You listen to him right here. We're the home of the Browns here in Central Ohio. An iconic voice, a better man than even that. And got to know him a little bit through the years. And as many of you know, I married a Cleveland girl, and her dad, upon first meeting and telling him what I do, he's like, I remember this vividly. He said, you got to really be like Jim Donovan. And I said, I didn't know who Jim Donovan was, and then I quickly found out and revered the job that he did on play-by-play, especially in those lean years where he was, kind of the one constant, really, was him. And I remember I was doing a live shot. The Browns were up here in August of 2015, and it was my last couple of weeks at Channel 10, and I was doing a live shot as it was Terrell Pryor's first game back in the shoe because he was playing receiver for the Browns, I think, of all things, and the whole organization was there, and Jim was there, and I'd never met him, and he came up to me, and he said, I really enjoy that Buckeye Blitz show you do that was airing on Sports Time Ohio. And it was as if God had spoken to me. I was like, wow, I can't even believe you know who I was, let alone that you liked that show that we did that aired on Sports Time Ohio at the time. And then I got to know him pretty well through the Browns stuff through the years. And the best damn guy, and does not deserve the battle. He's been battling cancer for years now, and he was very optimistic that he was going to be able to, and he called the preseason games, which you heard here on the Fan, and he was very optimistic that he would be able to work and call the games this year, but unfortunately his cancer is back, and it's quite formidable, and so he hangs up a mic. And Reese, as a Browns fan.
Yeah, I wish, of course, him the best. I've never not had Jim Donovan in my life.
Right.
Yeah, but that was really well said. That was a really good story. It's like Joe Montana coming up to you and being like, hey, kid, nice spiral.
It really was. I mean, and especially it was really cool. It was and then to get to know him later was because he's just the best guy. He just really is the best guy. I'll tell you this in terms of if whatever you do in your life, he has a almost photographic memory. And if you ask him about any game that he's called, he could recall it immediately. But he grew up in Boston, and so he had this great passion for the Bruins and the Celtics and the Patriots, but mostly for those play-by-play announcers. And he was at the Bobby Orr game where Bobby Orr scored the goal. He was at that game as a little kid in the Boston Garden. That statue sits outside the Garden now. He was at that game and revered Johnny Most and revered those guys who are these legendary play-by-play guys. And he did not, just like Paul here, like it's the voice, and
it's such a connection
you want to talk about
the city, the place you're at.
Oh, my God,
yeah.
the responsibility of that. And even, I think the most amazing thing about Jimmy is even as that team was rudderless they've really only found their way since 18, truly, where they are in the mix pretty consistently since 18. But up until that point, the previous 18 years he was doing play-by-play, he was presiding over nonsense. And yet he took the job as if he was calling the 27 Yankees every single time out. I'm telling you, that was the preparation he had for it. It was stunning, the preparation he would go through, as serious as he took that job, and the responsibility that he knew he had in doing it.
We talked, this was a few months ago, but about the notoriety that the local newscaster used to have, the Ron Burgundy type, right? Sure. And that's kind of what the voice of the city's favorite sports team kind of has now, because I've met plenty of famous Buckeyes, famous people on the air, Bo, you included, Common Man, and of course all the players, but there are still tons of people who come up to me, and the most impressive thing, they're like, Paul Keels? Right. Because that's like how much these people mean to something, because of how much the team means to them. And they, especially in the college sense, but the Browns, obviously they've had a ton of turnover on their rosters over the years, and coaching, not the play-by-play. He's always there.
No.
It's always so cool to hear other people talk about Jim Donovan, because the stories all sound the same, and it's a great testament to the man. There's so much bad football, but he was always so good through it all.
Every time we used to on Cleveland Browns Daily, which I do in the afternoons, I would have him on in football season once a week usually, and the first question I would always ask him is, because he's got a little ranch outside of Cleveland. He's got a little ranch. He's got horses. And so there was the common bond that I grew up with him and he had them. And I would always start the interview with, so what's going on the Ponderosa? How are the horses? What are we eating? Yeah, exactly. What are we eating? How's the hay situation? Is the grass coming in? And so even when he first announced that he was getting the cancer, this was years ago, when he first announced it, he came on with us to talk about it. And I hit him with that question. And afterwards, he and I talked, and he goes, I can't tell you what that meant to me, that you didn't ask about my health, that you asked about the horses, because what I craved was the normalcy, is what he craved. He craved the distraction of it. So he'll be missed. He'll be missed here on the airwaves and from the one constant for Browns fans, truly. All right, coming up next, final hour of the program. We are obviously a community dealing with tragedy. We will have some fun. Try to. We'll pick some college football games. It's something we do every Football Friday. We'll do that. Doug LeMaurice will join us at 11:33. Final hour of the program. Up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The Fan mourns the loss of Johnny Gaudreau, a father, husband, brother, and son. Rest in peace, Johnny Hockey.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No,
Adios.
but
Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and the sports book at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to watch home and away games. So make it your football headquarters and catch every game on 2 massive TV walls with over 12,000 square feet. That's big. And you can join our weekly watch parties with your favorite fan talent. Game-winning bites include nachos, burgers, wings, and more. So this season, make Hollywood Casino Columbus your home for football. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for help. Must be 21 to enter.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee interior one-coat hide color collection.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
I'm Eric Reeser. Columbus, the Blue Jackets, and the hockey world mourns the loss of Jackets forward Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, who lost their lives Thursday night. The pair were struck by an SUV while bicycling last night in New Jersey. Police there say the driver of that car was arrested for suspicion of driving under the influence and charged with 2 counts of death by auto. The 31-year-old Gaudreau chose Columbus 2 years ago and was a leader on and off the ice. Our thoughts are with the Gaudreau family and everyone in the Blue Jackets organization. In college football, number 2 Ohio State is a 48.5-point favorite tomorrow, hosting Akron at 3:30. You can hear that one on The Fan. We'll have live fan pregame coverage from campus starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. This update sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Have you already started your tailgate? Us too. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour today on a very different Football Friday with the tragic loss of Johnny Gaudreau last night in New Jersey, and it's tough. It's been really tough. Been tough all morning, and our just collective thoughts and prayers, most especially with his family first and foremost, and with the Blue Jackets and their family because they lost a brother. 2 sons are gone from a family. A father is gone from 2 little children. A husband is gone from a wife. So it's a really grueling stuff, and gutted, quite honestly, all morning long with it. We've tried to weave back and forth, and hopefully we ask for your grace and your patience and doing the best we can on it, acknowledging it, though, and try to provide a little distraction along the way. I've long said that sport is the last great distraction out there, the last great unifier, and hopefully that can happen for you tonight, tomorrow, and throughout the day, and hopefully here at the Fan we can provide, because we're all family. It's That's really this. You guys, the audience, this community, all of it. It's one big family, and we kind of all share in all of this together. Sports can provide that. High school football tonight. In fact, here on the Fan, Davidson and Canal Winchester starts at 6:30. Kickoff at 7 after the game. The Byers Dublin Subaru overtime with Bake and Lee Cochran. High school football is back Friday nights on the Fan. I'll tell you this. Normally. We're going to pick the games here because it was what we do. We pick the games and we know the scores, and we usually do a pretty dang good job of it. Normally, though, I would have all of this like already written down. I have a process for this. So if you're watching on the YouTube, I have yellow legal paper. I write down with a felt tip pen the scores and the spreads, and then I have a Sharpie highlighter that I highlight the win. The one that I like, the pick, right? And so I keep this yellow legal pad all year so that I can go back and see what I did, and we'll keep track of it. And in the college picks, I go against Chops, and in the NFL picks, I go against Reese. But I really don't ever consider like going up against. I don't think of it as like a competition between us. I really don't. I know you do. Threes did too. I just more think of it like doing the best I can, and we've done really well. In the NFL last year, it was nuts. How good it was. I want to say like 30, 40 games over 500. Last year in college football, I think we both ended well. Do you have the numbers of what we ended up last year?
Yeah, Reeser had it on the sheet. We were both 3 or 4 games above 500, somewhere in that range. But yeah, it was
so
like
it wasn't quite as good as I thought.
Not as good. I think we got the end of the year kind of got us. Oh no, we were better. Okay, we were in the 80s, but we almost 20 over. 84 and 69 for you, 86 and 67 for me. So actually, that's pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. So with the yellow legal pad, I am going to write these down as I pick them, which is going to be just not the way I normally would want to do this. But this is with all of it today. None of this has been what we were hopeful for because of an immense tragedy that happened. So we'll do the best we can. Let's know some scores, Reese.
Scores on Bishop and Friends.
So last season, Bo, you were 84-69, Chops 86-67 in terms of scores. I did go back and find our house picks against the house. Bo, you were 146-93.
That's NFL?
NFL picks against the spread. I was 126-113.
Who's my guy?
So whoever emailed you today.
Yeah, who's that? Where is this?
I'm not saying this year's going to be that.
My man, John.
But John, had you been listening last year and following along with Bo's picks, your kids could have probably gone to grad school on that dime.
What's the percentage to like that you're a winner, like 55 and up? Like not many people, like the good people are in that range, like 55 to 60, right?
You know, I want to say last year, I don't know that there was anybody who picked games against the NFL spread who did better than that last year. I think I looked it up, and I picked we pick every game, and here the other thing I'm really proud of here with these picks is I tried, when I select the 10 games we pick, I try to pick the 10 toughest games, right, to call, and like these aren't my 10 favorite bets. These are the 10 most interesting games to me. So that's why this is even a little harder, is because these are not necessarily the games. For example, like Idaho at Oregon's minus 43.5. I don't know.
How many times do we say, I really don't know, but I guess I'll have to go with this based on what I do know. And in week 1, what do you know in college football?
Nothing. Go ahead, Reese.
We know the teams, we know the combatants, we know the channels, and we know who's going to be calling them. We'll start tonight on the Big Ten Network. Michigan State is a 13.5-point home favorite against the Owls of Florida Atlantic.
So Jonathan Smith debut. He brought his quarterback from Oregon State with him. A little bit of excess of talent at Michigan State. The FAU coach is a guy we know. That's Tom Herman. He is your coach at FAU.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I put this one in here. Tom did a lot of things very poorly at Texas, but one thing that Tom is really good at is calling ball plays. So I think FSU is going to be in the mix. It would not surprise me at all if they won. Michigan State, I'm going to pick them to win, but I think it's going to be close. I like Michigan State 27-24.
Michigan State is such
I'm sorry. FAU. Michigan State to win, but pay attention to the scores.
Michigan State, if it was one more point, if it was 14.5, I would not feel good about picking the Spartans. I've got them 28-14, but them and like Washington are like poster child of like I have no idea how good they could be this year. I mean, I think I probably have a better idea on where the ceiling is for Michigan State. It's probably like an 8-4 team at most. Like, I don't think that they're all of a sudden going to be an undefeated run into the playoff type team. But yeah, I could totally see them 8-4. I could totally see them bowling. I could see them below 500. But I think Jonathan Smith's a good coach, so I think they do cover tonight.
So for those new to this, Bo would be FAU plus 13.5. Chops would be Michigan State minus 13.5. Is how it would appear on their betting slip. And if you're saying, well, I got them at 14 or I got Michigan State minus 13, look, our bookie might be in an alleyway, yours might be online. These are different ways with how we go about getting the lines.
What are you, a cop?
Right. It's something like a question a cop would ask. Let's go to Saturday at noon to the Chick-fil-A Dome. I think it's Mercedes-Benz, but whatever. Number 1, Georgia, and number 14, Clemson. The Dogs are 13.5-point favorites in this one on ESPN.
Is it 13.5 or 11.5, Reese?
What do you want to do it as? I got it off ESPN.com earlier this morning.
At 13?
That's what I got it at. But if you see it different and would like to, you can be the bookie.
No, I'll take 13.5.
Okie
That's
dokie.
great. I love 13.5. Go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, Chops.
Is that because, like me, you were picking Clemson to cover? I've got UGA winning 27-17. I just think that last time they played, it was a couple of years ago, but UGA was still up on their stuff. It was actually a really close defensive battle. So I think we could see a little bit of that, too. And I have to think that Clemson has figured out a little bit some of their offensive woes over the last few years. Second year of the Riley brother being there as the offensive coordinator. I think they'll be able to score a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, third year for Klubnik there at quarterback, like a lot of returning guys. It's just, they're not that bad. So, yeah, I think Georgia wins. I think it's close. I like it 28-17, something like that, but I like Clemson to cover it.
It's a 4-day weekend with the high school, elementary school, and middle schools in Morgantown, at least I should say. Monongalia, I think, is the county, but they called a day off for this. West Virginia hosts number 8 Penn State. It's the big nooner tomorrow on Fox. The Nittany Lions are 8-point favorites there.
I think I've learned one thing through the years, and that is to not trust James Franklin. This is a really tricky opener for them. It really is. I think the 8 is just a touch too big. I like Penn State winning, but slightly closer. I'm going to go 28-21.
Bo, you also learned that sometimes you should zig when everybody else is zagging. And while I don't feel too confident about it, gut feeling, James Franklin, Drew Aller put it together this year. And this is a pretty good Penn State team. We didn't, because of the show and everything, we didn't get to our full-on predictions, but I have Ohio State beating Penn. Well, we had that yesterday, actually. I had Ohio State beating Penn State in the Big Ten title game. So I've got them winning and covering tonight, 30-20.
So now that I'm looking at ESPN, where I got the initial line of Georgia minus 13.5, it does say Georgia minus 11.5, but I wasn't able to get that. I wonder what happened to make it a 2-point swing.
Probably that bookie in the alley.
A couple hours.
Could be.
Let's go to 3:30 on Saturday, and for those just joining us, we pick the Ohio State-Akron game. We pick the Ohio State game at the end of the show every Friday. So we'll start in the Swamp, where Florida hosts number 19 Miami. The U is a 2.5-point favorite.
Billy Napier doesn't win. Oh, is this you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chops.
I was going to say, this one goes against my better judgment with Billy Napier, too, but Miami and back, it doesn't mix. I mean, even though Racer wants to say it, I got Florida springing the upset, 24-21.
I'm going to go I like Ward a lot. I liked him at Washington State. I was hoping Ohio State would kick the tires on him. Very happy with Will Howard, but I think he's a hell of a player. I think Miami's got more talent. They've spent a lot of money on that roster. UF feels like they are floundering. I don't know if Napier's going to get through the season. I like the Canes winning in the Swamp. We're going to go 28-17.
3:30 in Lincoln. Nebraska is a 27.5-point favorite against UTEP.
It's just too much. Freshman quarterback, first time. Nebraska doesn't have that type of talent. I don't see a freshman quarterback lighting up anybody. UTEP's not any good, but I bet they hang around a little bit. I like Nebraska winning the game. We're going to go 31-14, but that's well inside the 27.5.
I have them winning 49-21, so pay attention to the scores there. Nebraska, obviously. I don't think UTEP is going to pull the upset. I think that the premiere of Dylan Raiola, now it could get off the rails because he is a true freshman, but I think they'll also be trying to prove something, and he'll stay into the third quarter, even if it's a blowout. So I think they'll add some points late in the game, too.
3:30 in Austin. Number 4 Texas is a 32-point favorite against Colorado State.
Texas. This is one of those ones that you just have to say, sure, why not? Texas 49-14. 32 is a huge number, but why not?
Yeah, it is. It's a very big number. I think Colorado State's okay. I think they'll be okay in this game. I like it slightly. If you're sensing a trend early on in the season, I tend to go, I'll take all the points I can get. So I think Texas winning the game as well. I think they win relatively bigly. I'm going to go 45-14, which is a big win, but not quite enough. So give me CSU to cover it.
At 7:30 in Eugene, number 3 Oregon's a 43.5-point favorite against Idaho.
This is one of the ones where I'm going to do the opposite because I think there are a couple of teams in the country this year that just want to bury people, and I think Oregon is one of those teams. So I like the Ducks. I think Lanning's going to go nuts. I think he knows what he's got. I think it's 63-7.
Yeah, I remember what they did to Colorado when they came in with all the hype last year. Now, that was week 4, but week 1, why not? Oregon's got all the hype already on them, so people are going to be watching this, and they're going to want to show out. I've got them covering, too, 56-10.
7:30 at Kyle Field in College Station. This is where College Game Day is going to be tomorrow night. Number 20, Texas A&M is a 3-point favorite against number 7, Notre Dame.
Bo, I'm taking your James Franklin idea here. Even though Mike Elko is now the coach in Texas A&M, I think something's wrong with the program. They're the favorite. I'm taking Notre Dame to spring the upset, 21-17.
I like Marcus's team a lot. They had an injury at left tackle, so watch for that this year. We'll see how they hold up against the A&M front. That's going to be a raucous place. John Football, he's going to be there on game day. They're going to be ready to go. But I do like Notre Dame. I like the veteran with Riley Leonard. I like the Irish winning down in College Station as well.
At 7:30 in the Big House, the one Harbaugh won't be at. Number 9, Michigan's a 21-point favorite over Fresno State.
I think the Michigan defense is just crazy good, and I think it's been probably, and it's rightfully so, but a very tough week up there for them with the Stallion stuff. So I think if Sharon Moore can bury, he will. I think they will play this entire season, Michigan against everybody, all that nonsense. I think they win big in this one. I got them winning 38-0.
Yeah, I think it's going to be low scoring, so the 21 seems plausible to me. Short fields. Even if the offense is still struggling and trying to find their identity, they'll score enough. I've got them winning 27-3.
We'll go to Sunday. You've got LSU and USC playing in Las Vegas in a game Lincoln Riley didn't want to have.
No.
The 13th-ranked Tigers are 4.5-point favorites against the 23rd-ranked men of Troy.
Both of the defenses for these teams were big oof last year, and I can't go with any bit of confidence saying that they've completely fixed all those problems. High-scoring one, but the Tigers score last, 49-42.
49-42. It's right. We see it very similarly. I don't think Lincoln Riley totally forgot how to call ball plays. When Paul was on and he talked about how Brian seemed a little bit hesitant with his team, I took note of that. I do think LSU will win the game, but I think it's tight. I think it's a 3-point game, a field goal game late. It seems like LSU plays these type of games. They did it with FSU a couple of times where it was close, comes down to a field goal. Feels that way here. I like LSU winning, but tight, 38-35, so I'll take the points on that. All right, there you go. Those are your Week 1 edition of Know the Scores. You'll hear from Ryan Day as his Buckeyes prepare to take on Akron tomorrow. That is coming up next. Doug Maurice, 11:33, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Right now at the Ram, make this the summer event. Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $549 a month for 42 months with $3,640 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by September 3rd, 2024.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Find savings to celebrate this Labor Day with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for $2.99 per pound, limit 5. And fresh from Meijer family pack boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.49 per pound. Get a large whole seedless watermelon for $3.99. Meyer chips, 3 for $5. And buy 5, save $5 on some additional Labor Day must-haves. Get everything you need to celebrate the holiday and save. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meyer app.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby! Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. Mary Haven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
We don't talk politics on the Fan. Instead, you'll hear us talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, the NFL, food, family, and fun. We're your safe space. Except when Common Man violates it by playing fart noises. The Fan, Ohio's politics-free destination.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Free estimates on air conditioning with Logan Services. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying Train system. It's hard to stop a train. Book online now. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture's mission is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices. They remind herbicide and pesticide users to always read and follow the product label. The label is the law, so take the time to know how it should be used and how to use it safely. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified arborists in Ohio. Visit www.treesforohio.org to find an arborist near you. That's www.treesforohio.org.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today we're tracking a lot of sunshine, highs around 97. The good news out today is our last extremely hot day for a while. It gets much cooler heading into your Saturday, 84 tomorrow with more clouds and a few showers, and then highs in the middle 80s as we head into Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And join the Fan live on campus Saturday. The Bucs open the season against Akron. We're tailgating at the Ozone lot, at Lane, beginning at 11:30. Admission is free. Stage announced with Timmy Hall and Boom Heron. Music from the fabulous Johnson Brothers. The Fan at the Ozone on Lane is sponsored by Essential Ohio Ford Dealers, Hollywood Casino, Mick Ultra, Jack Daniels, Pepsi, TNT Equipment, and Tito's Handmade Vodka on that side of things. The Buckeyes will play tomorrow as nearly 50-point favorites taking on Akron. I am as curious as I think anybody in terms of what this is going to look like, what the approach is going to be. It certainly feels like a name your score type of game, but I just think it's going to be fascinating how Ryan Day manages his roster. He was on his coach's show yesterday, which followed us, and the reality of all of the preparation for this season, folks. You think about everything that has gone into this, from the guys starting in recruiting, landing Jeremiah Smith. We all remember that press conference Ryan had where he almost went to his knees with the fact that signature was faxed in and he had it, to those guys deciding to come back, talking about Sawyer and Jack and Emeka and Travion and Denzel and JT, all those guys deciding to come, Jeremiah, all those guys deciding to come back. And then it went even more so in the portal, where you kind of got everybody that you wanted as you went kind of high-end goods shopping, and they got the players that they want, to then building the team together. And there's been this buildup that's been going on forever, and tomorrow you're going to get to see it. And Ryan talked about that a little bit in terms of how all of that has been building to this opener against Akron tomorrow, and obviously much bigger things down the line. But in terms of how this season goes into hyperspeed starting tomorrow at 3:30.
When you say it, after Saturday we'll only have 11, regular season games, and they go very, very fast in the game of football. You just don't have a lot of those opportunities. So, we are going to respect every single opponent we play, but you've heard us say it before, it's about the standard that we set, and the standard for us is we want to be the hardest playing team in the country. We want to grade out over 80% across the board. And if we do that, we're going to win a lot of games.
I think he's been saying 16 and 17 games so much that he forgot how many regular season games there are, because he had to think about it for a second. After one, it's 11.
More than that. Obviously, what they're going to get the next month is going to be a big step down even from what they've been in practice, because the practices, it's iron sharpening iron. Here is Coach Day on the practices, camp, and everything leading to this season.
You want to start fast, but you also want to finish strong in practice. And we've done that. I feel like, we've had some long practices. Guys have been physical and making sure that we finish off the practice the right way. And, sometimes when you look at the output from Mick in sports science, there's quite a bit more exertion in a practice than there actually is in a game. And that's good. That's the way we want it.
It'll be that way with the way this first month shakes out. Just think next year, you're going to, as we're doing this show, you're going to be preparing to play Texas versus this year preparing to play Akron, like Arch Manning coming in here a year from now. At this point, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around all of that. I'm most curious about the offense, how they go about their business. Did they pour it on? What does it look like with Chip calling the offense? Chip's offenses at Oregon were some of my most favorite offenses I've ever seen in the history of college football. Ryan's offenses here were that too, and now you're melding kind of all of that together. Ryan kind of talked a little bit yesterday about some of the things you'll see them do offensively. Here's Coach Day on that.
Both bring different things to the table. We're huddling more, and Jim, you remember the huddle? It's just, it sounds like something that happened like 20 years ago. But being in the huddle and a bunch of guys looking each other in the eye and talking about the situation and what happened the play before, and the quarterback looking everybody in the eye and talking about, we got to get this first down, or hey, be aware of this on this next down. And everybody breaks the huddle together and gets lined up. It's not like you're playing slow. There's a different tempo to it. It's kind of like waves on a beach. It just keeps coming at you and coming at you. So we got to do a great job of getting back to the huddle, get lined up, or get in the huddle, break the huddle, get lined up to the line of scrimmage and run. We're not always going to be doing that, but it's given the quarterback an opportunity to take control of the offense, and I believe that Will's doing that.
You know what I'm curious about that I haven't heard anybody ask, and especially with how much sign stealing is in it, what is the fail-safe if it gets to that 15 seconds and you don't feel like you've properly called the play? Is that, I imagine each team's going to have their own thing, but does Will Howard call the play now? Do you have signalers that jump in at the last second and do signal the play? It's going to happen. The way it works in the NFL is you have a play and then you have a change. Okay. So that's, I'm guessing, what they will do, because Ryan and Chip have both been in the NFL. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a play call through the headset. That play will either be signaled by the quarterback or will be yelled at the quarterback at the line of scrimmage if they're in no huddle. If they're in huddle, then it'll be called, and then with 15 seconds it goes out and you got to go, and then it'll be up to Will Howard, eventually Devin Brown, Julian Sayin, however many guys play in this game tomorrow. There will come a point where if they see something at the line of scrimmage that is different, they will audible to the option. So he will go to the line. My hunch would be, knowing the way it's done in the NFL and the way that I assume that Chip and Ryan would have it done here, that Will Howard will go to the line of scrimmage every single time with two plays. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's like you said, this technology's been around a long time. Some people have figured it out already. Yeah. So there will be two plays
every time they go to the line. That would be my hunch. But again, this is going to be new for a lot of us, the way this thing is going to take place. Doug Lesmerises is going to join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is a Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass. Reuniting with Chip Kelly, somebody that certainly has been very instrumental in your life professionally and personally. What's that been like to this point so far, Coach?
Yeah, it's been great. And when you have somebody that you know and you trust, it certainly does make a difference. But it's more about, what he's already done since he's been here in terms of, on the offensive side of the ball, the way that, I think the offensive staff has come together. There's been really good chemistry there. And he's bringing a different perspective to the table. On offense, we've kind of done things a certain way, but he also has a different perspective, which has been great. I really, think that Brian Hartline's been really, really good just in terms of bringing together not only some of these new ideas, but also what we've done in the past and kind of help as that's moved along in terms of finding our identity on offense. But no, he's been great so far, and I was excited to get started.
We'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Flight Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safe Flight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Ryan, I want to ask you a little bit about something you talked with us this week about all of the coaches involved in special teams, dividing certain parts of it up, but how everybody really has their fingerprints on it now.
Yeah, it's actually been fun to have everybody involved with it. See a new coach up there every time you're talking about a new phase. Seeing James talk about the kickoff, or seeing Brian talk about the return, or Keenan Bailey or Matt Guerrieri talk about punt. And Rob Keys is up there. I'm involved with it, so I think it's good for the buy-in of the entire team to see your position coach up there, to hear a different voice in different areas, and everybody just involved with it. Tim Walton is very much a part of it as well. He's been really good. So it's been good, and I'm excited to see how our special teams play on Saturday.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Dormar, you're pilot hero.
My furnace just went out. Ma'am, have no fear. Dormar is here. We can get that furnace fixed fast. Dormar, you guys are the best.
Dormar, you're pilot hero.
Pop
Pop quiz. What's the best way to go back to school? With Giant Eagle and Market District, of course. From lunchbox favorites to fun after-school snacks, they make it easy to care for growing minds and stomachs. And with their Deals for School Days program, you'll enjoy savings on thousands of items throughout the store. But don't wait. Featured items are only available at these low prices for a limited time. So stop in and stock up for the ultimate back-to-school pantry. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
Meet animals from around the world as you explore the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Whether you're fascinated by the towering elephant or playful sea lions, we have it all at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Visit columbuszoo.org to plan your visit today.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Little different tone on a football Friday as we deal with the loss of the Gaudreau brothers and Johnny and all that comes with that. And as I've said, and we bring on Doug, the podcast, Kings of Columbus, Kings of the North, joins us every single Friday at this time on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Doug, sports can be that great distraction, and that's something that I think will be counted on a little bit. You've been in this community for a long time, and I'm sure this hit you like it hit all of us, even if you aren't someone who's necessarily a fan of that organization or just a fan of humanity. It's hard to not be affected by the news this morning, my friend.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sports does, that when you think about how a person that you don't really know, right? Mm-hmm. That we're strangers to these athletes. Like they can't know all of us, but that you have skill and you have passion and you work hard and you can matter to thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people. And so that when something like this happens, it's like you've lived a life that has mattered to so many people. And what things in life allow a person to accomplish that? So, I mean, it's such a tragedy, but it is a reminder of the accomplishment of all these people who do these things, that like they help connect us. Mm-hmm. This is why sports is great, and we've all dealt with this kind of stuff, Bo. Like this is why we have sports, because tragedy will happen. It will happen. We cannot avoid it. Terrible things will happen in life. So we have to have some fun while we can. And so these brothers are a shining example of what sports can do for communities. And in moments of tragedy, we have to be able to still go on and have a good time. And like, they've been part of that for people along the way. People who had tragedy in their own lives, let me flip on the jackets. You know what I mean? So now I hope it can bring some solace to people, but it's just ultimately tragic.
I think it's the last thing in society that does that, truly. Sport. I think it's really the last. I was at a high school football game last Friday, and no one cared where you were politically. Everyone's kind of rolling in the same direction, rowing. Hey, man, let's go for the kids down on the field, and we're all kind of in it together. It was a beautiful night, and you're going to have that you'll have that tomorrow at 3:30 in the shoe, right? I really think it's the last unifier in society. I do. In terms of what I am fascinated to see how Ryan Day approaches this. They are 50-point favorites, Doug. Is this John Cooper in the mid-90s, 70-7? Is it here's all the might? Because quite honestly, even as he goes into his bench, his 2s and 3s are better than Akron's 1s. So what do you think his approach will be?
I think it might be a little more methodical and technical and grind it out, and let's unveil, Chip Kelly's contributions to the run game. Let's get both these backs working together, work out those roles. Let's get Will Howard some live action in a Buckeye uniform and have him take a couple hits. I don't know. I think it's more like 45-0 than 73-7, and I might be totally wrong. But I think they might want to steamroll. And along the way, the past couple of years, I've said, like, I don't like Ohio State getting bogged down in a toughness discussion. I don't like when people want C.J. Stroud to run. But do what you do best. And this offensive line had a good camp. They're a defense-first team. They have two good running backs and a physical quarterback who sees the job. I think being tough and physical probably is what this team does best, even though you have Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka. So I'm curious to see the identity of the offense, and if they just come out and try to really get physical with people. But then maybe you put in Julian Sayin or Devin Brown in the middle of the third quarter and tell them to chuck it around a little bit too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You could talk me into both. I think you're right, though. I think that some of my most fun offenses to watch through the years I've been covering the sport were Chip's offenses at Oregon, and whether it was the Masoli team or the Dixon team, they did not have the physical might, and they could not recruit in a way that Ohio State did. I'm thinking of that Orange Bowl, or the Rose Bowl, rather, when Terrell Pryor had probably his best game as a Buckeye. They didn't have the physical ability to kind of hang for the course of an entire game. And I always wondered what would happen if he did. What would happen if all of a sudden he could recruit big, hulking linemen, and not one back, but three? What would that look like? And so my hunch, I'm kind of with you, that's kind of like a big hulking road grading Buckeye performance offensively. Seems like it's in the cards.
Yeah, I mean, these offenses started as underdog offenses. Yeah. We're little. We got to get people in space. We can't. And now you add, the ultimate athletes to this kind of thinking. But, we were talking on our Kings of Columbus show this week, Bill Landis and I, about what the run pass breakdown is going to be. This team with Justin Fields, in 2018, they were like 50-50 run pass. With Dwayne Haskins. In 2019 and 2020, they were more than 60% run, especially 2019. More than 60% run. That's J.K. Dobbins. That's Fields as a runner. They were a running team and then deep shots. And over the past couple of years, right, when they started throwing it more with CJ, a lot of those games, it's like, oh, why didn't you take deep shots? Well, teams played for it. We couldn't do it. If this is what this gets back to, I don't know that they'll get to – I think they might get to 60% run. Landis thinks it'll be more balanced, maybe 55% run. If they run and then when they throw, it's taking shots, that's how they – that was the Fields offense. And if that's what this patterns itself after, Fields and Dobbins, and then here comes Chris Olave down the field, man, I think people would really like that. And I think that could really work when you pair it with one of the best defenses in the country.
Doug, you mentioned Jeremiah Smith. You've been here a while. Have you ever heard anybody talk about a freshman like that? And I asked that. I don't believe you were here for Claret. I think you preceded me just by a couple of years. Yeah, that's right. So have you ever heard anybody talk about a freshman like this?
No, not to this. And, again, it's the combination of talent and opportunity, because Ohio State runs talented freshmen through here, but they're often blocked anyway. You come here, you accept that. And it's the couple recruiting classes at receiver above Jeremiah Smith weren't quite at the level where Marvin Harrison was blocked as a freshman, right? So there's the opportunity here. And again, you're going through, we set a 12-game regular season over-under at 850 receiving yards for the regular season.
Okay.
Would you go over that or under that?
Did you say 12?
Just the 12 regular season, because it's hard to do for the whole season because you don't know if they're playing 13 games or 17 games. Yeah.
12. You went to a better school than me, and I've had a long morning.
Yeah,
what is that? What is that per game?
Like 60 or so, right?
I think over.
Receiving yards a game? You think over?
I just do. I just have never heard anybody talk about this. And he also, to me, Doug, I can't get that thought in the spring game when Ryan was on the mic with Joel Klatt and he goes, watch this. I think, you know what I mean? I think that there's kind of a way to get a load of this guy. I think, I think he could have some big hitters down the field too.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've got to take some shots, throw up some 50-50 balls. Don't be afraid of that, right? I mean, 50-50, are you kidding me? I don't think 50-50 balls exist with Jeremiah Smith. They're 80-20 balls every single time anyway. So they were just in a really efficient passing team with CJ. And you remember, CJ chucked it all over the place his first year. The second year, when you thought the stats were going to be gigantic, they actually pulled back from the pass game a little bit and ran it more. So I do think the one thing is, if they run it, I just wonder if they're just going to grind people down, and so the passing game numbers maybe won't be through the roof. I just don't know. And I also think you and I have talked about this. It's been in the playoff world and the Big Ten world. we've always said you kind of need to be one team maybe in the Big Ten and another team in the postseason, right? Especially in this world. Michigan's deal was they were capable of being the Big Ten team. Could they do it when they got to the playoff? Last year they did it. Ohio State, the last couple of years, they can hang with anybody in the playoff. Can they get through the Big Ten? I think maybe they run over people for 12 games. And then I said something like, I think it's possible Jeremiah Smith has as many receiving yards in like the 4 postseason games they would play as he does in the 12 regular season games. Like 600 in the first 12, 600 in the final 4 might be my Jeremiah Smith prediction.
I like where your head's at on that. Big picture, and I'll get you out of here on this one, my friend. I appreciate your time greatly. Can Ryan Day do this year something that's really rarely done around here, and that is your most talented team actually wins it? There's a million factors. I think it's harder ever than to win it. It's obviously harder than it's ever been to win a national title, but they have the depth, they have the talent. Does this feel like he bucks the Buckeye trend, and this is a team that is the most talented that actually wins it?
It's the right time for the 12-team playoff because Ohio State's issue has not been like, listen, they've lost when they got there too, but when they lose when they get there, they're always right there, right? I mean, they ran into Saban's best team in 20 in a COVID year. What are you going to do? Their issue's getting in. 2015, the issue's getting in, right? The issue. So I think that this opportunity, let them lose. You don't have to be undefeated. And then who beats them on a fast track? Who beats them indoors? Who beats them in good weather? Like, they're almost guaranteed the shot. They could be 10-2 and they'll get the shot. And once they get there, who do you like better? That's really part of it for me. Some of these people who are like picking Ohio State to lose the Big Ten title game, you think Oregon's going to fly halfway across the country when Indy is Ohio State's second home? You think Penn State or Michigan's going to beat Ohio State indoors? And then once they get out into the world, in the good weather in the playoff, what is it about Georgia or Texas or Notre Dame or anybody else that makes you think they're better set up for Ohio State? So I think he can, and I did pick Ohio State to win the national championship.
Yeah, I'm with you. It feels like it's all kind of coming into that. Great talking to you, my friend. I thank you so much for your time.
All right, man. Best to everybody in the Columbus sports community. This is a reminder. Sports is great, and in times like this, you can use sports to come together in a time of tragedy.
Well said, my friend. The great Doug Lesmerises, Kings of Columbus, Kings of the North, on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Get you 3 things for a Buckeye victory. We'll pick your game score coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Death, taxes, and beating Michigan every damn year. This is your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I need tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in and we'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh yeah, we send you over to Ollie's Oil for that. They're right down the road.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
Also, 6 out of 10 cars need alignment.
Well, just travel on over to Alignments or Us.
Calculating time for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and alignment all in one fell swoop?
Oh, I observed that Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment, is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Swimming is a great way to exercise and spend time with family and friends. Always swim with a buddy, keep an eye on children, and be prepared in an emergency if there is no lifeguard on duty. The next time you go to the pool, be water smart and know where the safety equipment is located. Complete the Ohio Department of Health Safety Equipment Scavenger Hunt and learn more about pool safety at odh.ohio.gov/swim. Have a safe swim.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Consider yourself a bourbon connoisseur? At Twin Peaks, we are proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. Plus, check out our barrel selects that are handpicked by our team and bottled just for you. Cheers!
Mega Millions! The Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot is up to $627 million. So I'm shouting it from my rooftop. Go play Mega Millions today. Then help me get down. And don't miss out on the excitement of Keno with 300 draws every day. Pick your numbers. Pick your wagers. Keno is always fun. Your way.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. This season on Nada Yada Island.
You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
Now through Labor Day weekend, 0% up to 48 months or 1.9% up to 60 months on all 2024 and 25 new Lindsay Hondas. Unbelievable savings by offering 0% up to 4 years on every Honda on the lot.
If we don't have it, it doesn't exist.
Plus, talk to us about electric options with up to $97.27 in combined savings with dealer and federal tax credits.
LindsayHonda.com or I-70 in Bryce Road.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24-25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Ford.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll asks, what will be the outcome of Ohio State's season opener against Akron? That's a 48.5-point spread, but your options here are Buckeyes win by 1 to 24 points, Buckeyes win by 25 to 49 points, Buckeyes by 50 or more, Zips get the win. 61% of you say the Buckeyes are going to win by 25 to 49 points. Buckeyes win by 50 plus is getting 30%. More of you think the Zips are going to win than the Buckeyes will by 1 to 24 points. So that's very telling right now.
Were the juicers dealing with a line that had an extra point? Because we have it at 48.5, so 25 to 49 is kind of a, well, where does that land you?
Again, our bookie in an alley, maybe their bookie's in the alley. Who can say?
That'll happen. All right, time for 3 keys for a Buckeye victory. Hit it, fellas.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
All right, number 1 for me. I just, and you probably gathered this in my talks with Tim and with Doug. I'm very curious what the operation is. I have a feeling, Doug and I talking a little bit there about that you're going to get a big road grading Buckeye offense, but against a defense like Akron, that can still get out of control very quickly. I'm curious when Ryan Day goes to backups. I'm curious how cutthroat he is at the end of halves. Like, does he look for 7 more points? What does that look like? It's the number? It could be 1 through 3 for me. I am so curious to see how he coaches this team against such an outmatched opponent.
You think there's a chance that second units could look crisper because of how much they've emphasized being ready for this huge game in depth? We'll see.
Against this operation, I think anybody's going to look pretty damn crisp, to be honest.
That's a good point. And speaking of that, because they're a lot better than Akron defense, go out and get the shutout. Why not? Why not this day? Why not against Akron? 3:30 CBS. Everybody's watching. You know, there's other really good games on, but I know every Buckeyes watching, and people watch the Buckeyes. So go out, show that this defense, it wasn't just a fluke or anything that people missed. Like, oh, they were rated good last year, but who knows how good they really are. We'll go out and get the shutout in the first game of the year, and stake your claim to best defense in the country.
Friend of the program and former Bo Bishop intern Tyvis Powell said they had a rule when they were up by 28. That was when the starters were done for the game. That needs to be done by half. Will Howard needs to be out taking pictures by the Archie Griffin statue right after the best damn band in the land is done honoring 45 on the 50th anniversary of his first Heisman.
That's interesting. So even in the first half, if they were up 28, they were done.
That was it.
Huh. Okay. Now that's an interesting one. Number 2 for me is Jeremiah Smith. I was not here for Claret. I have no point of reference on that. I have not heard whispers, chatter, outright talk about a freshman at Ohio State like this since Terrell Pryor. But Pryor, you got to remember, he was not going to start at the start of that season. So we didn't know if we were going to see him or not, or what it would look like. We know exactly that we're going to see Jeremiah Smith. I think Ryan Day wants to show off his new toy a little bit. Even if it's muted, I just think, folks, we saw him in person. If you're lucky enough to have been to a practice, you've seen him in person. He looks like Andre Johnson, and he's an 18-year-old. Like, that's kind of what you're getting into here. So I want to see him lope around the field and make some plays, even if it's a small performance or he plays for a quarter and a half, whatever. I'm looking forward to seeing that kid in scarlet and gray.
Akron's not going to make this a 4-quarter game. I don't even know if they can make it a 1-quarter game. But what can help a team do something to a team that is much more talented than them? It's turnovers. So I just want to see the offense go out there. Not that it really worries me that Akron's going to be able to take advantage to a point where they're going to threaten to win. But you want to see that they can go out there and take care of the ball. They're not errant passes that are getting picked off. These star running backs, no fumble problems there. Just hold on to the ball on offense, and everything else will come against this Akron team anyways.
A tone setter. A way to remind not just Akron, not just the Mid-American Conference, but the rest of the country how much talent is on this Ohio State offense. You have 18 connect with 4, the first play of the game. Some call it da bomb. I'll let Ryan Day and Chip Kelly call it what they'd like. Maybe a Buckeye bomb. Who's to say?
Finally, number 3 for me, this dovetails into your first one a little bit, Chops. I think this defense, I think people know you got Caleb Downs, but you're not even fully aware of what that means. This is a terrifying defense to go up against, and in a way, I almost feel bad for Akron for what's coming because I don't know how they're going to operate anything. Can you imagine like having to deal with Sonny Styles? Think about Sawyer and Tuamolo out of the Tyleeks, and then all of a sudden in the back end you got Downs and Burke, and it's an embarrassment of riches. And defensively, I think they're going to just be absolutely overwhelming. I look forward to seeing it play tomorrow.
Last one for me. This is just something I'm excited to see. You talked about how all the offensive weapons come in. What are the defensive rotations? Because every time we've heard defensive coaches talk, especially at linebacker and defensive line, they've talked about, we have more starter-level guys than we have spots for them to get in. So, when is Sonny going to be at Mike? When is C.J. Hicks going to be at Mike? What does Cody Simon do in those ones? Is he always coming off? And then on the defensive ends, when Jack and JT aren't in, who's coming in first, and what is that going to look like? And then the defensive interior, I think, is also just going to be really stout for the Buckeyes this year. But what are those rotations in that front? I guess for them, it's a front 6.
Yeah.
It could be Will Howard, it could be Devin Brown, it could be Julian Sane, it could be Aaron Nolan, it could be Lincoln Keenholz. When they're in there, with whatever contingent they're in there with, run the full complement of Ohio State's offense. I will say this now, I will say this January 19th, I will say this January 20th. Every minute you get, every opportunity you get to prepare these guys properly for the rigors of what will be a 16-17 game season, you need to take full advantage of. I believe Ohio State does do that tomorrow and walks out of the shoe a winner, 50-3. Pay attention to the scores.
Ooh, right on it. Field goal for the Zips.
I have the Buckeyes winning 52-0. A tradition as old as time. Me immediately picking them to cover and Reeser putting them right next to the number.
Yeah, look, I don't think they're going to settle for a field goal, so I think it's all touchdowns, and it's just a matter of do they get enough. I think maybe Akron scores one late. I got the Buckeyes huge, 63-7. I think you could kind of name the score in this one. It'll just be about, God, even with a little bit of just kind of sportsmanship, it's going to be 49-0 at half. I think. So it's going to be a tough one, and so I like the Buckeyes very big in this one. I thank you, the audience. Obviously, this was a very difficult show, and we did the best we could with it. And I thank you for allowing us to grieve with you and try to do what was a very, very complicated show. I can assure you, you'll be in very good hands coming up next with with Maddie and of course AR. They're up next. Be safe, hug your loved ones, and enjoy your holiday weekend safely. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
The Fan mourns the loss of Johnny Gaudreau, a father, husband, brother, and son. Rest in peace, Johnny Hockey.
Is a fan action update.
Minnesota falls in North Carolina last night, but pushes the 2-point spread. In the Big Ten tonight, Michigan State is a 13.5-point favorite over Florida Atlantic, and Wisconsin is giving Western Michigan 24. At noon tomorrow, Penn State's a 8.5-point favorite over West Virginia, and Ohio State's holding steady as a 48.5-point favorite over Akron. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
And what is it called?
A ceiling fan.
And where is it?
It's on the floor.
And why is that a problem?
Well, see, the person who named it probably should have called it a floor. No, that's not right. The guy on TV I saw put up a ceiling fan.
Are you a TV star, Paul?
No, I'm not.
Are you an electrician, Paul?
I am not.
You are?
I am a middle management accountant, and I shouldn't be putting up ceiling fans.
You should.
Call the pros who knows.
Apex Pros.
The pros who know electrical work, too. Hi, it's Alex from Apex Pros. And if you'd like us for plumbing, cooling, and heating, you're going to love our pro electricians.
Apex Pros are on the way.
Much easier, isn't it?
I'm glad we sorted this out.
Me too.
Columbus loves the pros who knows. Schedule with one click at apexpros.com.
Mega Millions! The Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot is up to $627 million. So I'm shouting it from my rooftop. Go play Mega Millions today. Then help me get down. And don't miss out on the excitement of Keno with 300 draws every day. Pick your numbers. Pick your wagers. Keno is always fun. Your way.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text FLASH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SLASH to 321-321.